Hello, everyone. I believe we are live. Let's see if it works this time. Okay, looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. I'm going to double check. I already see we are live. Okay. Technology. Okay, so I shared inside of our Friends and Health Facebook group. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It is an amazing opportunity to be live together at least once a week, isn't it? And before I start sharing my slides, this is another challenge that I'm going to have. But this is the second time I do it, so should work. Before I do that, let's just have an introduction and just a couple of seconds of why we are here. Good afternoon. My name is Nadia Taich. I'm a certified health, life, and fitness coach. I help men and women in their 50s to a stubborn 20 pounds so they can finally fit in clothes they want to fit and keep it this way through a transformation of lifestyle and habit change. I'm also a passionate advocate of Beyond Organic Shaklee products for your daily needs. Today's conversation is on how is your bone health? If you like topic like this and more, we also focus quite a bit on the mindset. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Natural Power 100. Also, you can receive Thursday morning health newsletter by subscribing to nadiataich.com/newsletter. I also have a new wellness center. That is the newsletter that you receive on a weekly basis that talks more about what you can do to support your health, restore your health with Shaklee products and more. And last but not the least, we have an amazing transformation week starting, I believe, June 1st tomorrow. We are going to have it as a private chat, but the number one, what you're going to receive is once a day in the morning coaching videos from Brandon Burchard for a week. And in our private chat, we're just going to support each other for our daily support and inspiration. And last week we had an amazing, actually this was this week, conversation on women's health one-on-one. I will also post the link to this webinar to listen. Why this webinar is so important, because it is an amazing contribution to what you're going to hear today about. Today we will dive into a bone health topic, and Women's One-on-One really talks about all the nutritional support and more you can do for yourself at a particular stage of your life and for anyone who you know that needs that. So really support on any stage of women's life. All right, so let's dive into the conversation. While I'm looking for my slides to share, I'm curious to hear whether you're listening at live or replay. So if you can put hashtag live, hashtag replay, and also where you're from, what state or city you're from, or maybe country. I know that some of us are not within the United States, so I am very curious where you're from and when you're listening to it. While you're doing that, let me find my slides and we will dive into the conversation. That's the challenge that I have, that I don't know that it's going to happen in the right way. So let me present you. Yeah, that's not this one. Thank you for your patience. That's the one that I was not sure last time. Let me close it real quick. Okay, let's see if this is going to happen. And since I am, looks like seeing myself, I will be able to see if this works. Thank you for your patience. Actually, if anybody can, if you're watching live, if you can let me know what you see on the screen right now, that will be really helpful. Are you seeing my notes? That's the number one question I have. If you don't see my notes, that's great, because that's a little more information that you want to see. Okay, I believe that it is working. Okay, very good, hopefully. So, how is your bone health? So in this slide, you will see the comparison of what bones are actually compared to. 2 times as tough as granite, 4 times more resilient than concrete, and 5 times as light as steel. Isn't it amazing? So you may be wondering, what exactly is bone health and why does it matter? Your bones are very porous structures. They are made up of minerals like calcium and magnesium. They perform many important functions, one of which is protecting your vital organs from damage. For example, your ribs form a cage around your internal organs, heart and lungs, and your skull protects your brain from injury. Bones also keep us moving, standing, functioning. If you don't have leg or arm bones, it's pretty difficult to get something right, something done. Your bones provide us stability. The bones also help repair and rebuild cells and store minerals such as calcium and phosphorus, which help keep your bones strong. They also release those minerals into your system when you need them for other uses. So yes, you do need bones for very many functions. And in this talk, you will not only hear about this how these bones are amazing and how strong they are, but also the function they they are heaven for your body, for your system, and how we can support our bones to be strong so they can actually function in the way they're designed fully for our living. So a little bit of science here. Your skeleton is a fascinating structure which allows you to achieve a vast array of physical functions. Comprised of, are you ready? 206 bones, your skeleton not only protects your vital organ, it keeps you moving, standing, functioning. 206 bones. There are 3 types of bone cells, including osteoblasts. What they do, they make new bone and help repair damage. Osteocytes, they are mature bone cells that help continue new bone function. And osteoclasts, they actually break down the bone. Usually I compare it similar to the muscle. You probably heard of the muscle. When you go work out, especially with weightlifting, you create this little micro tears, and then you have to replenish your muscle with proper nutrition, for example, protein. Very similar with bones. When you do exercise, for example, with weight-bearing exercise, those osteoclasts actually break down the bone, but the function of that is that new cells are being rebuilt. That's how you restore and you rebuild your bones. Yes, it is possible. So, as I mentioned, the storehouse of our bone strengthening minerals are calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. So, for example, you need minerals for your heart to function and beat normally. And if you don't have enough calcium or magnesium in your bloodstream to keep your heart beating, your bones will release those minerals to correct the levels and keep you alive. Isn't that interesting? So your bones are a storehouse for certain minerals that your body needs. I mentioned calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. Also, your bones store fat and produce blood cells. Unique connective tissues known as bone marrow that fills their interior. There are 2 types of bone marrow, yellow bone and red bone marrow. Yellow bone marrow contains a fat which can be released for energy, and red bone marrow is where red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets are produced. So, 4 signs you have unhealthy bones. You may not have heard of all of them together, but this is something to keep an eye on. Osteoporosis is called a silent disease because it doesn't exhibit symptoms to tell you that there's something wrong. Often people don't find out that they have it until the fracture of a bone already happens. By then, a lot of bone density is often lost. So, however, there are some signs of possible bone loss you can keep an eye on, and when you know them together, that becomes more easy, I guess, to catch there's a need. Fingernails can chip easily, receding gums, reduction in grip strength, and racing heartbeat. So what happens to bones as we age? This really is a very crucial moment. We often underlook the importance of our bones. We talk about losing fat, we talk about maybe building some muscle, but the bone health is not in our radar most of the time. And then we wonder, why are we shrinking with age? What's happening? Why, when we fall, we break bones so easily and more? So the health of your bones is really key in maintaining good health for your entire life. You see, as you age, your bones grow and change. For example, the length of your femur thigh bone is much different now than when you were 5 years old. So as you age, due to a number of factors, including activities, diets, fitness, genetics, your bone health or bone density can deteriorate. So what is bone density? It's the measurement of mineral composition of your bones. More bone density means that your cells are essentially closer together and stronger. Bone loss refers to losing bone density, and the space between your bone cells become larger. You can see it in the picture. More porous. If you lose bone density, then you are more at risk for fractures. Unfortunately, bone loss is a natural part of getting older. Peak bone mass or bone density is reached around age of 30. What happens after 30? New bone cell formation slows down, and we lose about 1% of bone density a year. So around 30, we slow down formation of bones, and we lose about 1% a year. Isn't it sad? Around 30. Well, some good news. However, there are things you can do to slow down future bone loss. Got to flip the slides. Okay, so what can we do to maintain bone health and reduce the risk of osteoporosis? Let's start protecting our bones as early as we can, especially if you have young children or children who are approaching the age. It's very important to take care of your bone density as soon as you can. So bone mass is affected by several factors. Those are not genetic based. Those are the ones that are under your control. The key here, the more bone density you build before the age of 30, so if you know someone of that age, the less bone loss and slower bone loss will be after the age of 30. But there are also factors that you can rebuild and restore your bone health even after the age of 30. So let's start with having your bone density checked. You can go to the doctor and request the test. Next, what we can do. Let's consider calcium intake. If you're not getting enough calcium in your diet, guess where the organs that need it are going to obtain it from? Well, that's right, from your bones. It's the primary storehouse of calcium. That's why you must make sure you're getting enough daily calcium from your diet and supplementation. And if you don't, your bones may suffer the consequences, becoming brittle and at risk of breaking. And because healthy bone structure has been sacrificed in older adults, broken bones may not even heal right, and sometimes they may not even heal at all. So because bone remodeling is a natural bodily function, you can't really alter the process. However, you can slow down the progression of bone loss by packing your diet with adequate amounts of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and other. So dietary calcium deficiency at any stage in life means diminished amount of bone density. So we might ask the question, how much calcium do I need? Adults age 19 to 50, so let's say and men between 51 and 70 should get at least 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day. However, for men over 70 and for women over 50, the amount increases to 1200 milligrams a day. I was thinking, and I thought, why not? Because that's exactly what I use, actually in the form of multi-supplement that has this particular product in it. But if we talk about the bone health, Shaklee offers Osteomatrix. This provides unique combination of nutrients needed to build and maintain strong bones with 100% daily value of nature's most concentrated and easily absorbed sources of essential calcium. Also has magnesium to help strengthen your bones, along with the vitamin D in it to stimulate calcium absorption. That's the key here, because sometimes you can get calcium from your food, but the calcium is very tricky ingredient to be able to absorb for your bloodstream. You need additional elements to help absorption into your bloodstream, which vitamin D does that. This particular product has that. Also in the clinical studies, it showed that the sustainability of calcium lasts over 12-hour period from taking this product. All right, so what else we can do? You already hear that I'm mentioning vitamin D and how convenient that vitamin D plays a very important role. And you see this little sun shining on the screen. So even if you gain enough calcium, a deficiency of vitamin D will prevent your body from being able to absorb, as I mentioned, as much as it should. You need one to make the other one work. So vitamin D deficiency is very common right now in the United States, as very few foods naturally contain vitamin D. Saltwater fish like salmon, tuna, cod, and swordfish are good natural sources, as well as egg yolks. All right. Actually, also some foods such high in calcium, like milk, yogurt, and cereals fortified with vitamin D, also can have both. Well, of course, you see the sun is shining on the screen. One of the best ways to get vitamin D is to sit out in the sun and saturate all the sun rays into your body. So if you're light-skinned, you will need at least 15 minutes exposure twice a week to get more than enough sun for the vitamin D for your body needs. 15 minutes twice a week. You know, in my case, actually, I'm light-skinned and I put sun lotion all over me because I don't want to get burned. That becomes an issue in having the vitamin D in my system. Again, I receive vitamin D from the multivitamin, but we are talking about bone health here, and vitamin D is actually also on my shelf just in case, vitamin D3. And in this particular product that Shaklee offers, we have, I believe, 1,000 international units of vitamin D3. It is actually the most patented form of vitamin D right now. 300 quality tests on this particular product. So you may ask, how much vitamin D do I need? So to ensure you get at least 600 international units daily, if you're between 19 and 70, and 800 international units if you're age 71 and older. Okay, so this particular product really offers pretty good volume. What else can you do? Well, exercise comes handy almost everywhere for your health, isn't it? So there's a direct connection to being physically active and lowering risk of getting osteoporosis and really building your strong bones. So be sure to get at least 150 minutes per week of weight-bearing exercise. What does weight-bearing exercise mean? Pick up the weights. I'm not talking about lifting heavy weights. I'm talking about any type of weight that gives the extra strength for your body to build. So 150 minutes per week. And just a little tip for you here, for those who don't like the gym, yes, gym has options of different weightlifting, but the actual body weight also gives you possibility of weightlifting. Hello. I'm recording. We'll finish later, okay? All right. And also what can you do is watch what else you're doing in your lifestyle. How about just checking in unhealthy habits? Study results have shown a link between smoking and alcohol consumption and actually bone loss, because both nicotine and alcohol interfere with the absorption of calcium into your bones. Well, reduce coffee consumption. Studies consistently show that women who drink coffee have a greater risk of osteoporosis. How unlucky we are. Not news for us to stop drinking soda. The phosphorus in caffeinated soda leaches calcium from your bones. And you know, every time I read these facts, it brings me back to our children's health. I know it's tasty and it feels so good to drink soft drinks, but here's one of the aspects. We are talking about building our bone mass as early as we can. And if we give so many soft drinks to our children, we're actually fighting with the nature and reversing the process. What happens is we do this consistently, they enter the age where very little you can do, bones are already weak. Guess what happens? Not a good picture, so let's take care of our children's health. Last but not the least, you've heard it before, reduce stress. Stress releases the hormone cortisol into your body, which eventually leads to calcium depletion. So start as early as you can. And this one, when I was preparing for this conversation, I really liked this particular expression that I found by Dr. Shackley. When someone asks you what is good for arthritis, you could respond, you don't want anything good for arthritis. You want something bad for arthritis and good for your body. Is that wisdom here? Well, thank you so much for listening, and I really appreciate your comments. It might be a quite a loaded informational piece for you. So what was your main moment that maybe you learned? Main moment that stood out for you was something that you feel, I'm going to take this aspect on. The summary of our conversation is to really build your bone density as early as you can. Make sure that you receive enough minerals in your diet, in your wide supplementation, such as calcium, such as vitamin D. Weight-bearing exercise is important. Also, check into your lifestyle. How much alcohol do you drink? How much you smoke? How much coffee you drink? How do you take care of your stress? All right, because we want to have strong bones and we want to have strong bodies no matter what age you are. Conversation like this, of course, we are having on weekly basis. This is our weekly live stream on different health and wellness topics. And I'd like to invite you to two very special events. One of them that happened just a couple of days ago, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is Women's Health One-on-One, where Dr. Jamie McManus, the only way I can say about her, she's a walking encyclopedia. She uncovers how to support women's health nutritionally, first of all, in different stages of our lives. I will post the link to go ahead and listen to it. You will have to register as a member of a wellness center. It is a free registration, and you will have an access to quite numerous articles and webinars. And we'll be receiving invitations to webinars like that. Next event is our Transformation Week from June 1st for 7 days. Brandon Burchard, a high-performance habits coach, is going to coach us every morning for the transformation or either one area of your life that you would like to take on or just in general. So if you're interested, let us know, put it in the comments, interested in Transformational Week, and we will plug you in. We are not going to have it inside of Friends in Health Facebook group because it's only for people who commit to this Transformational Week. How you commit, send us, put a comment underneath, send me a message personally, or post it inside Friends in Health Facebook group that you are interested in the Transformation Week. We start tomorrow. And of course, Friends in Health group is our for daily motivation and inspiration in your wellness journey, free but closed group. YouTube channel, The Natural Power 100. And also, if you're interested to see what else you can do, you can always go to my website, nadiataj.com, and see about the chakra products. There's a link there, or I see here, turn your stress into success for 30 days, or just have a conversation with me. You can see my calendar and book 15-minute conversation. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the community. Before you go, please leave me a comment. What was your main appreciation or maybe aha from this conversation? I am very curious to know. I am going to stop sharing, and I will see you all in the community. Thank you and have a great weekend.